Well, let's back away from that and talk about Watermark for a second.
Okay.
You're an advisor with us in the preparation process. We call it the paradigm process. And we believe there are 8 areas that companies really need to master on a scale 1 to 10. If they're a 10 out of 10 in these areas, these 8 areas, they're going to hit a home run in a transaction, whether they're selling part or all of their company, or they are getting out of no man's land and they're now needing to raise more capital, equity growth capital, to do it. Like we said, strategy is the heart of it all. That's where it starts. You've got to have that down pat for the world, especially the world we're in today. One of the core services that we offer and that you would be involved with clients on is the Ready, Aim, Fire service. Tell the viewers what that is.
Okay, it really is. If you think about Ready, Aim, Fire, you can get it. And many companies do most companies do Ready, Fire, Aim. Some people just do fire, 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 which is, oh my God, that's a huge waste of resources. And some of them do ready, 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 you know, and maybe sort of aim and never do anything. So the issue is, the simple part of it, you got to do all 3. And first is ready, second is aim, and last is fire. So when we talked about the idea, is your company ready for strategy? Let's diagnose kind of what are the behaviors you're doing now which may indicate you're not going to be tuned up to go. So the ready has to do with doing those kind of things, and often going out and looking at competitors and benchmarking who really does do meetings well, or who really does do this well, and what can we learn from that rather than having to invent it all ourselves. So how do we get ready? So first of all is benchmarking to determine where you want to go. The aim really gets into this sort of visioning process and sort of then diagnosing the problems as well as designing how do we want to go. That's the aim part of it. And then the fire is execute. And so when you're ready and aiming, there's a piece in there before you start executing, which is the fire. It's somewhere the last of aim, the first of fire, which is get your organization ready to do the strategy. You got to coach them, you got to develop them, you got to say, can this company do this new strategy in addition to sort of making the transition from where we were? And then you got to execute it. You have to do it. So are you ready to do those kind of things? So our Ready, Aim, Fire is really tuning you up and working with you to get that done. And we approach it from a standpoint of not coming in as the industry expert in your area. What we typically find with companies is they know plenty about their area, so there's not a lack of knowledge of the area, they've been living in it. But they have what's sometimes referred to as the curse of knowledge. They know so much, they keep executing on all the little stuff instead of the few things that matter. So our job is to come in from an outside perspective, having run companies, looked at hundreds of companies and sort of lived in that world, to say, okay, how can we help you focus on some things you may be missing and set some prioritizing rather than taking all this with you the way it is? So that's what we do. It's a mentoring, coaching process. It's also sort of mentoring and coaching on steroids. It's not just consulting. We're not trying to have a consulting engagement where we make money from you forever and ever and ever. The idea is get in and work on it. And so it's usually a 3 months to 6 month process. So if we're trying to get you from not quite ready or maybe really not ready for strategy, get a handle on these things and do them and turn it around and get yourself so you're ready to go to the next level, meaning develop your investable story, what we're doing and going to do for an investor population out here. Again, your banker's interested in how well you're doing today. An investor's interested in where you're going and how you're going to get there and is it exciting or worthwhile. It's a whole different conversation you're having. So are you ready to have that conversation? Are you focused on the right things, and have you begun to put the organization the way we'll do that? That's about a 3 to 6 months process. So we come in, work with you, mentor you really, to look at those kind of things, figure out the short list of things that you must do, and they're very doable, and if you'll do them, everything else begins to fall into place. That's our job. If we do our job well, you go from someone having post-traumatic, post-sale anxiety. Again, the way to get over post-sale anxiety is get the price you wanted and have your company all geared up so when you sell it, it doesn't have to be fixed by the next guy who doesn't know it.